Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the webinar. Today, we're going to explore a topic that I believe is the single most important factor determining whether your AI initiatives succeed or struggle: operational readiness. The title of the session is AI Operational Readiness with Tungsten, TotalAgility, and Value Stream Engineering. But really, this is a conversation about foundations, about why process is the prerequisite for scaling intelligent automation. For the next 25 minutes or so, I'll share a framework for thinking about AI readiness that goes beyond technology. We'll explore how value stream engineering creates the clarity AI needs to operate effectively. We'll examine the operational gaps to prevent AI from scaling, and we'll discuss how Tungsten TotalAgility provides the orchestration backbone that makes agentic AI operationally viable. Let's get started. Before we get into content, I wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself. My name is Hoppenjans, and I recently joined Tungsten as an industry consultant for financial services. I didn't come up through sales. I spent over a decade of my career inside large regulated institutions building and scaling intelligent automation from the ground up. I've turned RPA from a proof of concept into an enterprise program. I've expanded intelligent automation capabilities across organizations using agile methodology to deliver at scale. And I've built end-to-end enterprise automation practices spanning task automation into agentic and orchestrated solutions. I'm also a Six Sigma Black Belt and Certified Product Manager, which shape how I view scaling AI. So what I bring to the table is practicality. I know how work actually flows, I know where pain lives in the process, and where automation will or won't create value. That's how I approach the work. I know where the opportunities are. I can speak credibly with ops, IT, risk, and compliance, and then translate that into a business case executives actually approve because I've done it. So I've sat in your chair. I've built the program, I've been the analyst, the buyer, the tech lead, the implementer, and ultimately the person responsible for driving and realizing benefit. I don't lead with tools, I lead with end-to-end process. And I believe that's how I can help you turn small use cases into transformation. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with AI operational readiness, what it really means beyond just having the right technology. Then we'll dive into the foundations: customer journeys, process engineering, and value streams. This is where we'll establish why process is the critical success factor. Next, we'll examine the operational gaps that impact AI scaling: data, governance, orchestration, and human oversight. We'll then look at how Tungsten TotalAgility enables AI as the orchestration spine for your value streams. And finally, we'll discuss implementation strategy, where to start and how to scale. Let's start by defining what we mean by AI operational readiness and why it matters so much in financial services. AI operational readiness is the foundation for any successful AI initiative, especially in industries like financial services where compliance, risk, and operational complexity are paramount. Many organizations mistakenly view AI readiness as simply having the right technology or budget. In reality, true readiness requires a combination of technical capability, operational maturity, and cultural alignment to assure AI delivers measurable, sustainable outcomes. Operational readiness begins with understanding how AI will function in real-world conditions. This means ensuring stable, repeatable outcomes by addressing gaps in process, data quality, and system interoperability. It also requires robust monitoring and oversight frameworks to track AI behavior, intervene when outcomes deviate, and maintain compliance with regulatory and ethical standards. A critical step in achieving readiness is aligning AI initiatives with end-to-end value streams. By mapping workflows, identifying bottlenecks, and clarifying decision points, organizations can pinpoint where AI can add the most value while ensuring human oversight and compliance controls are in place. The structured approach shifts the focus from isolated AI experiments to scalable, enterprise-wide transformation. Ultimately, AI operational readiness is about more than just deploying technology. It's about creating the conditions for AI to function as a trusted, scalable partner in delivering business outcomes. By focusing on readiness first, organizations can ensure their AI initiatives are not only innovative, but also aligned with enterprise goals, regulatory requirements, and customer expectations. We're now going to explore the foundational concepts that underpin everything we'll discuss today: the relationship between customer journeys, process engineering, and value streams. This is where the real work happens. If you take one thing away from this session, it should be this: you cannot automate what you don't understand, and you cannot scale what you haven't engineered. Let's start by distinguishing two critical perspectives that are often confused. This slide captures a distinction that's fundamental to scaling automation in banking: the difference between how customers experience your services and how your operations actually deliver them. On the left, we have the customer journey map, the front stage view. This captures the customer's experience from their first touch point to the outcome that they're seeking. It's all about intent, emotion, and those key moments that matter, what we sometimes call moments of truth. Take onboarding as an example. From a customer's perspective, it's apply, verify, approve, activate. Simple, right? 4 steps. On the right, we have the value stream, the backstage operational view. This is how work, data, and decisions actually flow from demand to delivery. It reveals the systems, handoffs, and orchestration that power the customer experience. That same onboarding process, operationally it's ID check, risk score, decisioning, and fulfillment. And each of those involve multiple systems, data exchanges, and decision points. Here's why this matters most for AI. Most AI initiatives start with a customer journey view. Let's automate onboarding. But you can't automate the customer experience directly. You automate the value stream that delivers it. When organizations skip this translation from journey to value stream, they end up with an AI that can't scale because it wasn't built on a foundation of operational clarity. This leads us to a critical question. How do we align these two views? This slide illustrates what happens when we align the customer journey with the underlying value streams. And this is where process engineering becomes essential. Look at the flow here. A customer says, I want to open an account. That's the journey moment. They experience ID verification and document upload, but operationally, that single moment triggers KYC and AML checks, flowing into risk decisioning, potentially touching 3 or 4 different systems and teams. Here's the insight that changes how you approach automation. One journey stage often maps to multiple value streams. A single customer step like onboarding may simultaneously touch document processing, risk assessment, compliance verification, and fulfillment streams. This is why so many AI initiatives struggle to scale. They automate a single task in isolation, say document classification, without understanding how that task fits into the broader value stream. The result? Local optimization that creates downstream problems. The second key principle here is design for flow, not function. Traditional process improvement focuses on making each department more efficient. Value stream alignment shifts your thinking to customer outcome flows, enabling cross-silo orchestration at scale. When you align journeys to value streams, you surface the unnecessary handoffs, approval loops, and data reentry that are your primary targets for automation. This is where 80% of the value typically hides, in the friction between systems and teams, not in the individual tasks. So we've established why value streams matter. Now let's talk about the discipline that makes this possible: process engineering. Process engineering is the backbone of everything we're discussing today, and it's particularly critical in financial services where regulatory complexity and interconnected processes dominate. Let me be direct. AI cannot thrive in opaque workflows. It needs clearly defined decision points, escalation criteria, and exception pathways. Process engineering provides that structure. Look at the 4 quadrants on the slide. Role in enterprise transformation in the upper left. Process engineering clarifies workflow and identifies bottlenecks. This clarity is essential, not just for AI, but for any enterprise transformation initiative. Next, foundation for AI enablement in the upper right. Clearly defined processes provide the structured environments that enable safe, autonomous AI decision-making. Without this, you're essentially asking AI to navigate in the dark. The lower left, enhancing compliance and control, is particularly relevant for banking. Documented controls and audit points ensure compliance during AI adoption. In regulated industries, this isn't optional, it's existential. When regulators ask how your AI makes decisions, you need to show them the process. And finally, strategic AI deployment. This is about shifting from isolated automation experiments to strategic end-to-end optimization. A process-first approach ensures AI augments operations rather than disrupts it. Here's the bottom line. By investing in process engineering, you create a solid foundation for work to flow predictably across systems and teams. This enables AI to function as an integrated partner, not a disruptive experiment. Now let me connect this to the concept of end-to-end value streams. End-to-end value streams represent the complete picture. All the activities, people, systems, decisions, and data flows required to deliver an outcome to a customer. Unlike traditional process maps that focus on departmental tasks, value streams transcend organizational silos. They show how work truly flows from start to finish. In financial services, where processes like onboarding, claims, and compliance span multiple products, systems, regulatory checkpoints, and human interactions, this perspective is essential. Let's look at the 4 key points on this slide. First, comprehensive workflow sequence. Again, value streams map everything, not just the happy path, but the exceptions, escalations, and edge cases that consume most of your operational effort. Second, AI integration in value streams. For agentic AI to operate effectively, it must understand the broader workflow context. It needs to know where to intervene, when to escalate, and how to coordinate with humans and systems. Value streams provide that context. Third, identifying inefficiencies. Value stream mapping reveals redundancies and bottlenecks that are often invisible at the departmental level. Redundant data entry, manual loops, approval delays, these are your automation opportunities. Fourth, strategic AI-driven transformation. Well-designed value streams align automation with customer outcomes and organizational strategy, ensuring stability as you scale. The next slide shows how this applies across banking value streams specifically. This slide maps a value stream in banking and shows where Tungsten TotalAgility delivers value across each one. Let me walk you through this quickly. Across the top, you'll see the core value streams: customer acquisition and onboarding, application and origination, risk assessment, transaction processing, account management, customer service, compliance and reporting, collections, asset management, and back office operations. Below each value stream, you'll see the customer outcome it delivers. For example, customer acquisition delivers fast, secure customer enrollment. Risk assessment delivers fair, timely credit and risk decisions. These outcomes are what matter to your customers and what your operations must consistently deliver. At the bottom, you'll see specific TotalAgility use cases for each value stream. In onboarding, that's customer onboarding, ID verification, account opening. In risk assessment, it's underwriting, KYC AML, and fraud detection. In compliance, it's regulatory reporting, data validation, and screening. Here's the key insight. TotalAgility isn't a point solution for one process. It's an orchestration platform that spans your entire operational landscape. When you implement TotalAgility for onboarding, you're building capabilities that extend to loan processing, compliance, and beyond. This is what we mean by scalable automation. You're not solving one problem at a time. You're building an orchestration platform that grows with your automation ambitions. Think about how to take the use cases on the bottom and shift your thinking up to value streams, and think about how do we implement the technology as far left as possible. That is what will drive scale. Most organizations say they want to scale AI, but very few have built the foundations to make that possible. What you've just seen is what separates experimentation from real impact. On this slide, we're showing where some of our leading customers actually are in that journey. Some are leading, shifting to a value stream approach and scaling within their organization, but many are sitting on massive unrealized potential, the white space on this table. And the reality is, those gaps don't take years to close if you're willing to rethink how you approach the problem. Now let's look at what gets in the way of scaling AI across these value streams. Now we shift to the challenges. We've talked about the foundation, process engineering, value streams, and operational clarity. Now let's examine the gaps that prevent AI from scaling. I'm going to cover 4 critical gap areas: data readiness, governance, orchestration, and human oversight. In my experience, these are the 4 areas where most AI initiatives encounter friction. As we go through these, think about where your organization stands on each dimension. Data readiness is perhaps the most common barrier to scaling AI in financial institutions, and it's often more complex than organizations initially realize. Consider this: your value streams rely on data from multiple sources: core banking systems, document repositories, CRM platforms, risk engines. For agentic AI to act responsibly, it needs consistent, high-quality, real-time data. But what do most organizations actually have? Fragmented data sets across legacy systems and silos, inconsistent metadata, unclear data lineage, weak governance. This creates significant risks when AI makes decisions based on unreliable information. Here's where value stream engineering helps. When you map your value streams, you identify where data originates, how it's transformed at each step, and where quality degrades. This enables targeted governance improvements rather than boiling the ocean on data quality. Tungsten TotalAgility enhances data readiness by integrating and normalizing data across systems. It provides a unified layer that ensures AI interacts with validated, policy-compliant information, not raw data with unknown quality. The key insight: don't try to fix all your data problems before starting AI initiatives. Use value stream mapping to identify the specific data flows that matter for your target use cases and address those first. By tackling data readiness up front, through process engineering and tools like TotalAgility, you reduce risk, improve automation outcomes, and create a solid foundation for scaling. But data is just one challenge. Let's talk about governance. Governance is where many AI initiatives hit a wall, especially in financial services. Traditional governance frameworks were built for a different era. They assume static, batch-driven processes with clear human accountability at each step. But agentic AI doesn't work that way. It's dynamic, autonomous, and capable of executing multiple step tasks without constant human intervention. This creates real challenges. How do you ensure real-time oversight of AI actions? How do you maintain action-level traceability? How do you preserve separation of duties when an AI agent is making multiple decisions in sequence? Value stream engineering addresses these gaps by documenting decision points, risk controls, and compliance checkpoints. When you've mapped your value streams, you know exactly where governance controls need to be applied. Tungsten TotalAgility operationalizes this governance. It enforces workflow policies, captures comprehensive audit trails, routes exceptions for human review, and embeds business rules directly into automated processes. Here's the evolution in thinking that I encourage. Start treating AI as a digital workforce with permissions, role-based constraints, and auditing, just like you would for human employees. This creates a safe, transparent environment for scaling AI while maintaining compliance. The organizations that get governance right are the ones that build it into their process designs from the beginning, not as an afterthought. The third gap is orchestration is one of the biggest technical challenges to operationalizing AI in financial institutions, and it's often underestimated. Think about what agentic AI needs to do. Coordinate tasks across your core banking platforms, document repositories, CRMs, risk engines, compliance systems, many of which were never designed to work together seamlessly. Without reliable orchestration, AI agents encounter broken integrations, incomplete processes, and inconsistent exception handling. Every point of friction becomes a failure mode. Look at the 4 elements on this slide. Challenges in AI orchestration. Again, AI must coordinate across diverse, non-integrated systems, leading to broken workflows and exceptions. Value stream bottlenecks. Value stream mapping reveals the specific points where handoffs fail, systems lack interoperability, or dependencies break down. Unified orchestration solution. This is where Tungsten TotalAgility provides differentiated value. It can act as an integrated orchestration spine that unifies legacy and modern systems. Operational risk reduction. A stable process layer reduces the complexity AI must navigate, ensuring consistent, predictable workflows. Here's the key point. Instead of requiring AI to navigate fragmented architectures, TotalAgility provides a cohesive process layer that handles routing, sequencing, monitoring, and exception escalation. AI agents interact with a unified interface rather than wrestling with integration complexity. This approach dramatically reduces operational risks while accelerating automation deployment. The final gap is probably the most important: human oversight. Even in highly automated environments, human oversight remains critical, especially in financial services. Regulatory scrutiny, ethical considerations, and subjective government judgment all require human involvement. But here's what many organizations miss. Preparing employees to work effectively alongside AI requires significant operational change. How do you train your people to supervise AI agents? How do they manage escalations effectively? How do you maintain compliance when humans and AI are working in tandem? Value stream engineering helps clarify where human judgment adds the most value, where manual interventions are necessary, and how human-in-the-loop control should be structured. TotalAgility strengthens oversight through several capabilities: dynamic case management for complex situations, escalation workflows that route the right decisions to the right people, dashboards for monitoring AI behavior, and comprehensive audit trails for accountability. But here's where I want to focus: the evolution of roles. We're seeing new positions emerge: agent supervisors, digital risk stewards, workflow auditors. These roles represent the human side of the human-AI partnership. The organizations succeeding with AI aren't replacing humans. They're evolving human roles to focus on oversight, exception handling, and the judgment calls that AI shouldn't make alone. This structured approach fosters trust, supports adoption, and ensures AI operates transparently within regulatory and ethical boundaries. So we've covered the gaps. Now let's talk about the solution. We've established the foundation: process engineering and value streams. We've identified the gaps: data, governance, orchestration, and human oversight. Now let's talk about how Tungsten TotalAgility addresses these challenges and enables AI at enterprise scale. TotalAgility isn't just another workflow tool, it's the orchestration backbone that makes agentic AI operationally viable. Let me explain why we position TotalAgility as the orchestration spine for agentic AI in financial services. Consider the challenges we've been discussing. You have value streams that span multiple systems, require complex orchestration, and must maintain compliance at every step. You want to introduce AI capabilities, document understanding, intelligent decisioning, predictive analytics, but you need a stable operational foundation. TotalAgility provides that foundation through 4 key capabilities. First, unified workflow orchestration. TotalAgility seamlessly connects disparate systems, data sources, and process participants. Instead of requiring AI agents to navigate fragmented architectures, TotalAgility provides a unified workflow engine that manages sequencing, routing, approvals, and system interactions through consistent integration patterns. Second, compliance and logging. Every action is compliant, logged, and aligned with enterprise policies. This reduces the governance burden on AI logic. The orchestration layer handles compliance, freeing AI to focus on intelligent decision-making. Third, supports complex financial processes. TotalAgility handles both structured and unstructured content, ideal for banking processes like onboarding, claims, loan processing, and compliance reviews where documents, data, and decisions converge. Fourth, enables AI integration. This is the key point. TotalAgility transforms your value stream designs into executable processes, enabling AI to function as a coordinated participant within end-to-end workflows. Here's what this means practically. You can introduce agentic AI without extensive system overhauls. TotalAgility provides a stable, compliant, orchestrated environment that AI needs to operate effectively. This accelerates automation while maintaining operational stability. I focused on solutioning these problems with TotalAgility at a super high level so far. If we lift up the hood and have a peek at the engine, this is what you'll see. This is what Tungsten has perfected over the last 40 years and why Gartner recognizes us as a leader in AI-powered IDP. This is the complete capability map of our platform: every component, every integration, every compliance certification. At the top, document ingestion. It starts here. 15 different ingestion channels: agents, scanners, emails, APIs, mobile SDKs, cloud storage connectors, real-time streaming. Every one of these has to handle format detection, error recovery, and scale. And that's just getting the data into the system. Intelligent document processing. This is the core, the hardest part to replicate. 4 sub-pipelines: pre-processing, OCR with multiple engine options, classification using machine learning and large language models, extraction across thousands of pre-trained models, and then validation and post-processing to make sure the data is actually trustworthy, knowing when to bring humans in the loop. Complete with all of the UI and reinforcement learning out of the box. Each of these boxes represents years of training data and domain expertise. Next is workflow orchestration and RPA. Once data is extracted, it has to go somewhere. Process orchestration, dynamic case management, robotic process automation. This is where documents become business outcomes. And we're layering agentic AI on top of all of this. Large language model integration with guardrails, our own Tungsten Copilot, a patent on getting repeatable processes from highly probabilistic models, and a full agent orchestration framework. Integration and security. Now here's where it gets real. Over 100 enterprise connectors, SAP, Oracle, Salesforce, ServiceNow, SSO, RBAC encryption, full audit trails. Deployment and analytics. With a range of deployment options from our cloud to yours, Kubernetes, even air-gapped environments. Each of these is a separate engineering workstream, complete with built-in analytics, SLA monitoring, and infrastructure that you don't have to worry about, that scales up and down as you need. At the bottom, the certifications. ISO, SOC 2, FedRAMP, HIPAA, PCI, GDPR. This represents 40 plus years of R&D and thousands of person years of engineering. Every one of these boxes is a team, a backlog, and an ongoing maintenance commitment. The question isn't whether you can build any one piece. It's whether you want to build and maintain all of them forever. So now the question is, how do we continue to scale automation horizontally across your value streams? Let's close with the practical question, where do you start? You understand why process is the foundation. You've seen the gaps that prevent AI from scaling. You know how TotalAgility provides the orchestration and technical backbone. The question is, what do you do Monday morning? Where do you start? This slide gives you the roadmap. 4 steps to scaling AI with processes as the foundation. Step 1, value stream selection. Start by choosing a high impact value stream, one plagued by delays, manual work, compliance bottlenecks, or inconsistent outcomes. Map it end to end to uncover pain points, data gaps, system dependencies, and automation opportunities. Don't try to transform everything at once. Pick a value stream where success will be visible, measurable, and meaningful to the business. In banking, onboarding, loan processing, and compliance reviews are often good candidates. Step 2, Tungsten TotalAgility orchestration. Introduce TotalAgility early as the orchestration framework. Don't wait until you're ready for AI. Start standardizing integrations and handoffs between business units, managing document flows, enforcing policies, and handling exceptions now. This creates a stable foundation AI needs. The benefit? By the time you're ready to add AI capabilities, you have a well-orchestrated, compliant process layer to build on. Step 3, layering AI capabilities. Now you're adding AI features, agentic reasoning, document understanding, predictive analytics, on top of TotalAgility's workflow engine. Start with pilots that deliver immediate efficiency gains while creating reusable patterns for future automation. The key here, AI succeeds when it's augmenting a well-defined process, not trying to create structure from chaos. Step 4, scaling and sustainability. As pilots succeed, scale horizontally by applying the same AI and orchestration framework across similar value streams. You're not starting from scratch each time, you're extending a proven pattern. This is the sustainable model. Process engineering creates clarity, TotalAgility provides orchestration, and AI delivers intelligence. All working together. Let me leave you with this thought. The organizations that will win with AI aren't necessarily the ones with the most advanced algorithms. They're the ones that build AI on a foundation of engineered processes and robust orchestration. Process is the foundation, TotalAgility is the orchestration spine, AI is the intelligence layer. Get the foundation right, and scaling becomes possible. Thank you. I'm looking forward to ongoing discussions. I'd love to hear about your specific challenges and where you see opportunities to apply these concepts in your organizations. Have a good day.